In this video, you will learn the process of simplifying rational expressions. I included several examples involving different types of polynomials. I hope that you will learn something about this one in this video. So, what are the steps in simplifying a rational expression? Obviously, ang unang gagawin natin is to factor both the numerator and the denominator. Mahalaga yan. That's the very first thing na kailangan gawin. Second, after factoring both the numerator and denominator, we can now reduce the fraction by canceling out all factors that are common to the numerator and the denominator. And then last, rewrite any remaining expression in the numerator and denominator. And that's it. That's how we're going to simplify a rational expression. Let's take a look at the first example. So, suppose you want to simplify 4a cubed b squared c over 2ab raised to 4c. So, meron tayong dalawang proseso na ipapakita dito kapag ganito yung mga cases na ating isi-simplify. Ang una ay ang medyo mahabang way pero sure yung magiging answer natin if you do this correctly. So, pa-factor natin ang numerator and denominator. So, notice that the numerator can be factored as 2 times 2 times a times a times a times b times b times c. Okay, so it's like prime factorization yung ginagawa natin. So, meron akong tatlong a, so sulat mo siya as a times a times a. Meron akong dalawang b's, b squared, so sulat mo b times b. Isang c, so isang c lang. The denominator, ganyan din yung gagawin natin. So, we have 2 times a times b times b times b times c. So, obviously, same. Apat na b, apat na b. Isang c lang isusulat. Then, after that, ito na yung pinaka-second part na gagawin natin is to cancel all common factors that are, okay, that are present in the numerator and the denominator. So, una dito si 2, kitang-kita naman. So, we can cancel this 2 at isang 2 sa baba. Okay, meron pa tayong nakikitang common sa taas at baba. So, we have A, B, B. Cancel din natin another B and another B. Then, we have C and C. So, obviously, na-cancel na natin na wala na tayong makikitang common. Tulad nito, wala ka na makikitang 2 na nasa taas at meron sa baba. Wala ka na makikitang A, okay, na nasa taas at meron sa baba. So, that's it. So, ang gagawin na natin ngayon is the step 3. So, sulat na natin yung remaining factors by, again, okay, simplifying. So, 2 times a is 2a squared. And then, b times b is b squared. So, here we go. So, the answer is 2a squared over b squared. For the second example, we will use the technique. Okay, yung mas simple pero pwedeng gawin pa din. It depends kung anong technique yung pwede mong gamitin. So here, ang unang gagawin natin is to get the GCF of the numerical coefficients. So here, 15 and 25, ang greatest common factor nila ay 5. So we can divide this, okay? We can divide both by 5. So here, 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Next, mapapansin natin yung A. So, meron tayong A sa taas, merong A sa baba. Ang exponent na A sa taas ay 4. Ang exponent na A sa baba ay 1. So, obviously, ang gagawin lang natin is to subtract their exponents. So, mas maganda at mas madali, ibawas natin dun sa mas mataas na exponent. So, in this case, si 1 ay ibabawas natin kay 4. Okay, so, ang mangyayari dyan, itong 4 magiging 3. Maka-cancel na to ngayon. Okay, so meron na tayong a cube na matitira dun sa taas. Next, yung b. Mapapansin na wala namang common si b. Wala siya sa ilalim. So, sulat lang, stay lang siya dyan. And then c raised to 5 and c raised to 7, parehong c. So, in this case, ibabawas natin siya dun sa baba. kasi mas mataas yung 7 kaysa kay 5. So, cancel na ito dahil ibabawas din natin sa ilalim. Si 7 magiging 2. So, sulat na natin yung matitira. So, we have 3 and then meron tayong a cube b all over 5. Remember, may c ka pa rito, c squared. So, this is the simplest form of these two examples. Another example, so let's simplify 2x plus 8 all over 2. At first, hindi natin pwede gamitin yung ginawa kanina because ito ay binomial. So what we're going to do is to think of a GCF first. No? Kung meron ba siyang greatest common factor. Si 2x saka si 8. And that gives you 2. Okay, as the GCF of this two terms. So factor natin si 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So ito na yung factored form ni 2x plus 8. Pwede mo naman i-check it. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times 4 is 8. And then, copy lang natin yung 2 sa ilalim. And then notice that meron tayong common factor sa taas at sa baba. So cancel natin si 2, cancel si 2, and that gives us the remaining factor which is x plus 4. So that's it. So this is the simplest form of this expression. For this example, suppose we want to simplify this a minus 5 all over 4a squared minus 20a. Again, factor the numerator and the denominator. However, ang ating numerator, hindi na natin kaya pang i-factor yan. So, as is lang, sulat lang, a minus 5. But notice that the denominator, okay, has the greatest common factor of 4a. So, pwede natin i-factor si 4a. Since a is the common variable, and then the GCF of 4 and 20 ay 4. So, 4a squared divided by 4a is a. Okay, since 4a times a is 4a squared. Negative 20a divided by 4a is negative 5. Since 4a times negative 5 is negative 20a. Okay, now you can see that there are common factors. A minus 5 can be cancelled. And here, papansin na walang natira sa taas. But obviously, we must remember that 1 is a factor, is always a factor. Hindi lang natin siya sinusulat, but remember that 1 is always a factor of any expression. So, the simplest form is given by 1 over 4a. That's it. How about x squared minus 4 all over x plus 2? So notice that the numerator is a difference of two squares. So factor natin to as the product of the sum and difference of two terms. So we have x plus 2 and x minus 2. Our denominator is x plus 2, kopya lang. And then, obviously, we can cancel x plus 2 and x plus 2. That gives the remaining factor x minus 2 as our answer. For the next example, notice that a squared plus 6a plus 9 is a perfect square trinomial. So we can factor this as a plus 3 and a plus 3. The denominator is a difference of two squares, so we can factor this as a plus 3 and a minus 3. Next is to look for the common factors that we can cancel. A plus 3 and a plus 3. And that gives us the answer a plus 3 all over a minus 3. Let's simplify this. So, first, factor natin yung numerator and the denominator. So, this is a general trinomial. So, ang factor natin sa numerator natin ay we have x minus 3 and x minus 1. Factor natin sa x squared minus 5x plus 6. And we have x minus 3 and x minus 2. Next is to cancel the common. So x minus 3 can be cancelled and x minus 3. So therefore, this gives us the remaining factors na x minus 1 all over x minus 2. So second, 2a squared plus 7a plus 3 all over 2a squared plus 3a minus 9. So again, this is another general trinomial. So ang gagawin natin is to factor the numerator and the denominator. So the factored form of the numerator is 2a plus 1 times a plus 3. The denominator, we have a plus 3 and 2a minus 3. Now, by cancelling the common factor a plus 3, we have 2a plus 1 over 2a minus 3. For the last set of example, we have a raised to 4 plus 10a cubed plus 25a squared all over a cubed plus 5a squared. So, ang unang gagawin natin ay we think of a factoring technique na pwedeng gamitin so we can simplify this. Obviously, a is a common term, okay? Or a is a common variable, so we can take this out, okay? So, sa numerator, if we take a squared, since this is the GCF, we will still have a squared plus 10a plus 25. However, a squared plus 10a plus 25 can still be factored. Okay? So, this is a perfect square trinomial. So, kaya pa to eh. Factor pa natin ito na a plus 5 times a plus 5. Our denominator, a cubed plus 5a squared, again has a common variable a. So, kunin natin yung may pinakamababang exponent sa dalawa, which is a squared. Then, divide a cubed plus 5a squared divided by a squared, we get a plus 5. Next, cancel natin ang mga common factors. A squared, a plus 5, then a plus 5. And that gives us the remaining factor na a plus 5, which is the simplest form of this expression. Last example, we have 9 minus x squared all over x cubed minus 27. Same process. Factor natin yung numerator. This gives us 3 minus x times 3 plus x since this is a difference of two squares. X cubed minus 27, we have x minus 3 times x squared plus 3x plus 9, and this is a difference of two cubes. Notice that 3 minus x, okay, can be written as negative 1 times x minus 3. So, bakit natin ginawa? Because meron tayong x minus 3 sa ilalim para may cancel tayo. Because hindi natin pwede cancel directly si 3 minus x kay x minus 3 because they are opposites of each other. So, if we take negative 1 out, okay, same pa rin yun. So, negative 1 times x is negative x. Ito yun. And then, negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. So, meaning, wala tayong binago dun sa original expression natin na 3 minus x. Okay? So, now, we can now cancel x minus 3 and x minus 3. And this gives us, wala na tayong makakancel pa. So, yung negative 1 natin, lagi natin dito yung negative side sa gitna. We have x plus 3 by commutative property. 3 plus x is the same as x plus 3 all over x squared plus 3x plus 9. I want you to write these examples on your own. After a few minutes, you can go back to this slide and see if you got the correct answer. So for number 1, the answer is 1/2. For number 2, we have x plus 5y all over x squared plus 5xy plus 25y squared. Then for number 3, we have x minus 2 all over x times x plus 2 Or, simplify mo pa, x minus 2 all over x squared plus 2x. I hope that you learn how to simplify rational expressions. See you again sa ating susunod na math video lectures. Thank you for watching.